Good afternoon, how are you? Welcome to the show. Thank you so much for joining me. Everything is available to you. We've got a text line, we've got the phone lines, we've got my email, and of course we've got the American Lawn Care webcam up and running. You can find links to that on Twitter at Simon Radio 1776, on my Facebook, and of course on the blog at whoradio.com. You know, when we do this show every day, we actually prep it. Stunning, I know. We have a short show today due to the Hawkeye men's hoops, but that doesn't mean we don't prep it. And then every now and then, something comes along close to airtime that simply makes you rip up every single thing you've prepared and go with that one story. We do have a guest today. And we're going to be talking to him about education. And frankly, this is related. So hopefully he's listening, because I've had no time to tell him. I'm sure you all remember the Gannett newspaper in New York that published that interactive map of all the homes with guns. I'm sure you remember the national outcry later on that forced them to take that map down. Well, now, our very own Des Moines Register, published by the same Gannett company, has just completed a survey of Iowa schools. The subject? Security. Quite a worthwhile journalistic enterprise, actually, until they took it a step further and have themselves now published an interactive map of all the schools in Iowa, those that do and those that do not have security. You heard that right. The Register Online, right now, has an interactive map. Every school in the state, you can see which ones have security and which ones do not. What was that meeting like? What genius at the Register thought this was a good idea? And how will they react if one of those schools that their newspaper has identified as having no security is targeted by some nut job? Obviously, being stunned into silence is not what happens to me very often, but today I came really close. Instead, I just want to scream, what the heck are they thinking? And frankly, I don't want to say heck. But I know some people would be offended if I said the other H word. And I don't want to offend people either. Numerous break-ins in New York were tied to the map, the interactive map, published by Gannett. In that part of the world, senators even asked questions as to how a company of that standing could publish a map showing where all the guns are. How could they do that? And how can this same company now here in Des Moines publish a map of every school in the state showing which ones don't have security? How can they do that? I got to tell you, I am so grateful that I don't have a kid in school in Iowa anywhere in the state right now. But I know parents who do. I cannot imagine what they must be thinking right now, especially if their school has been identified by the Register as one of those with no security. How would you feel? 284 1040 800 469 4295. Some of you may well be checking right now to see if your school is identified. I would be. And then what? Parents going to arm themselves and stand guard of their unsecured school? Is that going to happen? Are the police suddenly going to find the resources to turn up and patrol these unguarded schools? Is that what's going to happen? Or are we simply just going to leave them with no security and a guide to every nut job in the state as to which schools are not protected. Somebody help me here, because I have no clue what is going on.